Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch study session for Tuesday, May 6th. It's 4 o'clock. Our first item of business will be public comments on study session items. I don't have anybody signed up to speak.
There is one comment form on your desk. It's not on your desk. Here's another.
Okay, thank you. Correction, we do have one person signed up to speak. So when I call your name, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. And that is Corey Vaughn. Corey Vaughn.
Stacy's letting me know she thinks that's for the public hearing. Yeah, so we'll hold on.
Okay. Moving on. Next item is item C1, which is to review and discuss consent and regular agenda items. Councilman Roman.
I'm good.
Councilwoman Bennett.
I'm good.
Councilman Reed.
Nothing for me.
Councilman Jackson.
None at this time, Mayor.
Councilman Neal.
Nothing, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Moving on, C2, discuss and review the city council travel expense policy, including the process associated with determining council travel and expenses.
Hello, Mayor, Council. Erin Flores, Deputy Director, Administrative Services, Deputy City Secretary. And we are going to be talking about the travel expense policy and the process involved, and this was requested by Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Jackson. So just a little background, we did update the council travel policy in January of this year to closely mirror our city's travel policy for employees. And we do have a suggested amendment to exempt any travel related to legislative items. So, any emergency legislative item that comes up and city manager or council member needs to travel quickly, then they can do that without having to go through the approval process. So the process involved, we receive a request from a council member via Ben, and we research the event, what all is going to be needed, is airfare needed, is hotel needed, Uber fees, anything like that. We research to find the best cost and what's going to be most efficient, and we also take into account the council's preference for dates and times, and things of that nature. If prior approval is needed, then we could put a packet together with all the information, and we get it sent out to the Travel Expense Review Committee for approval. And it's considered approved when we have 2 out of 3, so a majority vote. And that is it. Questions?
This item was brought up by Councilman Jackson, so I will let you go first.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Aaron. So one other piece of this is a request form
Yes.
so that the committee has a little bit better information on the event itself. Also to provide documentation of the request
Yes.
so that it was clear what criteria, what information that the committee was using or was given in order to base their decision on. So I think that this form does, it asks for very basic information. It just might even help speed the process up a little bit. But also the travel for legislative concerns, often there's not a lot of advance notice and those decisions need to be made on the fly. So I think that was a good amendment. So I don't have any other changes or comments. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, just a little more about that form. So, based on feedback that we received, we came up with this form just to kind of help consolidate all the information that's needed at one time. So it's not a lot of back and forth emails, and we think it'll be pretty helpful.
Thank you very much. Councilman Roman?
I think that's an okay change, and obviously, to ensure that, none of us are just nilly-willy deciding during a legislative cycle, I want to go to Austin and I don't have to get approval. I think maybe it should be something that the city manager city manager deems necessary, I think is that appropriate language that we need to include in there. I think just from past experiences where there was something that had come up that we needed to go speak about or testify to, then the city manager at that point reached out to the mayor and I and anybody else that might need to go as well. And so I think as the city manager deems necessary and immediate to go, then I think that'd be an okay sort of provisional language to include in there. Then the other thing, Whit, is this where you're introducing the language to what we had discussed regarding the $200 a month stipend and having that in a reimbursement form?
I believe that, well, the language is in there. I don't know if it's in this draft. I'm going to pull it up. Sorry. Thank you. I'm pulling up the current draft that's in the packet here. We have presented that language, though, and I don't know if that, do you know, Aaron, if that language amendment has been in here?
I haven't been told anything about that recently.
Because it was supposed to be included the last time we discussed and it wasn't. And then it was supposed to be included this time around, and I don't think that it is.
Okay. Yeah, we have the language is ready. We'll get with city management.
Ben, can we get that on the agenda for the
Updated
next meeting?
Version over.
Since this has been prolonged for about 4 months now?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bennett?
I'm good, thank you.
Councilman Reed?
No, I'm all set.
Councilman Neal?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to add that especially when legislature is in session, obviously, we've run into a couple of situations where we needed to be able to react and go, and the city manager is included in that. So maybe there's, carve out for city manager, mayor pro tem, deputy mayor pro tem, if need be, just because things are moving quickly. Sometimes we have less than a day's notice when there's an important hearing going on. And based on things that are being considered right now in Austin, it's been important that we be there for several things. We've missed several things. So I'm hoping that we can address that moving forward.
So majority in favor of making that amendment to change the language for legislated items?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Okay. So yes, we'll move forward.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank you all.
much. Next up is receive an update from the mayor and council members regarding board liaison information from outside organizations and other meetings attended. Councilman Roman?
Nothing for me.
Councilwoman Bennett?
I actually did an online, instead of traveling, I did the APA online. It was really interesting in case, I don't know if you guys ever actually got the agendas that go with that. I did send some of the information to Ben. But there were classes that were like evaluating impacts for future growth with technology, basically, and we have that. The hidden cost of unpacking equity impacts with retail fees. I did the small business back, bringing small business back, engaging Latinos in planning. So there was quite a few that really were relevant to us here, and there were quite a few takeaways. And so I would encourage you guys that if that comes up, different organizations like that you do participate.
Very good. Councilman Reed?
The only thing I had was I took advantage of an invite to Red Sticks over at Mustang Station as they celebrated their 3-year anniversary. So it was a well-attended event. It's great to see the celebration of their time with us so far. And fun was had by all.
Very good. Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
No updates, Mayor.
Councilman Neal?
Nothing, Mayor.
Very good. I just want to commend our city staff, Park Department, Police Department, Fire Department for pulling off a very successful Fish and Fun event. I've never seen such big fish coming out of that creek. And so that was really good. Thank you to those council who showed. After that event, I did go over to St. Andrew's Church. They were having their fall fest, or spring festival, I should say, and our police and fire department, as well as animal services, had presence at that event. It's always a fun event to go to. The mayor's prayer breakfast took place last week, and I know everybody's busy, but it's a very well-attended event, and it would be great if we could get some more council representation at that event in the future. It's an hour that I think is well worth spent and provides a networking opportunity with many officials from some of our neighboring cities. And then Friday, attended the Dallas Regional Mobility Coalition meeting. It was especially interesting on Friday because they had Brian Barth, who's the Executive Director of TxDOT, in attendance. And so, we were able to get the monthly update, as I always do, from Ceason Clements, the project engineer for the I-35 Phase 2 project. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, that project is now running about 6 months longer than anticipated. So we will keep an eye on that, and she will let me know as that progresses. But real important to know that there's a lot of money being spent on transportation, not only in our region, but in the state. TxDOT spends, their spending has gone up from about $11.2 billion in 2022 to $13.7 billion in 2024. And those are projects that are being undertaken at maybe, I'll almost say, zero cost to the taxpayers, because we don't pay a state income tax, but that money is coming through businesses and other funding to the state, and there is some federal grant money in there also. So it was interesting to hear about all of the projects in the area and how they're looking to grow that spending. In the next 25 years, they expect those figures to almost double. And the state will be spending about $200 billion, they estimate, by 2050 on statewide projects. So one thing that we may see some work on in Farmers Branch is at railroad crossings, there's a grade separation grant that is available. And as TxDOT crews are out surveying areas, streets where railroad crossings cross a street, they may be working to identify areas that need help, need to be redesigned. I don't think that we have that issue in Farmers Branch so much, but if you know of something, please feel free to let the city manager know so we can submit and get on the list. And then also, DART has started test runs of the Silver Line, so that's a big step moving forward for them. And with that, that is all that I have to report. So next up is C4, which is review and discuss future agenda items. Councilman Roman?
I just have one. It's to discuss potentially implementing a Citizens Leadership Academy.
Say that again?
It is to discuss implementing the Citizens Leadership Academy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Councilwoman Bennett?
Okay, this is giving you time to write. I would like to, the attorney and the city manager, this can be just by a note, to see if there's an ordinance that we have in the city for minors selling liquor or alcohol to minors. Because right now at the state, it's 16 years old, but it can be by, we can have an ordinance, and I just don't know if we do have one.
Councilman Reed?
Yes, I'd like to get a status on Mercer Park, current construction timeline, current scope, as well as a comparison of what the current scope is compared to what was initially discussed when the project was approved, and discuss potential funding for any gaps between those, the original vision and the current scope.
Okay. Councilman Jackson?
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Neal?
Nothing, Mayor, thanks.
Okay. I've got a couple things. One, I'd like to have a revisit on fees that we are charging residents. That would include the landfill, the stormwater fees, and the fees for rental rates at city facilities. So I'd like to have some conversation about all three of those. And then also like to get an update, or, bring up for discussion the possibility of adding another crosswalk light for the Firehouse Theater on Valley View Lane. Okay. I just blanked out on the name. All right. Anybody have anything else? Seeing none. That will conclude our study session for this afternoon. Let me remind everybody that there is a reception at 5:30 in the front lobby, and then, of course, our regular city council meeting will begin at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much.